Peppa's family didn't just move into a new house, they might have brought something with them. Because when you really look at the new house, something doesn't feel right. It's bigger, cleaner, more modern, but also full of new spaces we've never seen before. Extra rooms, extra storage, places that aren't always shown on screen. And that's exactly why fans are starting to believe one thing. Peppa's long-rumored twin didn't disappear. She's still there, and now she finally has the perfect place to hide. This whole theory actually starts with something incredibly small. An official Peppa Pig poster that most people would scroll past without thinking twice. The Pig family standing outside their house, smiling like always. Nothing unusual, until you look at the window. Because inside the house, behind the glass, there's a faint shape. A face, a piglet. That looks exactly like Peppa. Not George, not a random background character. Peppa. But something about it feels off. It's subtle, but it doesn't look like the Peppa we're used to seeing. And once fans noticed it, everything changed. People started asking questions. Who is that? Why are they inside the house while the rest of the family is outside? And most importantly, why does she look exactly like Peppa? That's when the idea of the twin started spreading. Fans gave her names. Poppy Pig became the most popular one, mainly because it fits the naming style of the show. Others called her Olivia Pig, especially when they started connecting more clues later on. But no matter what name people chose, the idea stayed the same. Peppa has a twin, and she's hidden. At first, it sounded like one of those random internet theories that doesn't really go anywhere. But then the show introduced something that made it way more believable. The new house. Because the Pig family didn't actually leave their old home. They rebuilt it. Same hill, same location, just bigger. And that detail is important because it means one thing. Nothing was removed, everything was just expanded. So if there really was something or someone hidden in the old house, then the rebuild didn't get rid of it. It made it easier to hide. Think about it. The old house was small, limited space, fewer rooms, fewer places to go unnoticed. But now, there are extra bedrooms, a garage, storage areas, and parts of the house we barely even see. It's not just a home anymore. It's a perfect hiding place. And there's one specific clue that makes this theory even harder to ignore. The computer. Back in the old house, there's a moment where Peppa and George are using the family computer. Everything seems normal until the login screen appears. You can see all the usual profiles. Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, even Granny and Grandpa. But then there's one more, a strange account. OP. It doesn't belong to anyone we know. No character in the show has those initials. And even stranger, the account barely has any activity. Low scores, almost no usage. Like someone logs in occasionally, but doesn't want to be noticed. And that's where fans started connecting things. OP Olivia Pig. Or Poppy Pig. A hidden profile for a hidden character. And if that account existed in the old house, then the new house only makes things worse. Because now there's a full office setup. A proper space where someone could easily access the computer, create accounts, and leave behind clues without anyone realizing. It's the perfect setup for someone who isn't supposed to be there. But even with all of that, you could still argue this is just coincidence. A weird detail, a design choice, something that doesn't really mean anything. Until you start looking at Peppa herself. Because one of the biggest clues isn't in the house, it's in her behavior. Fans have noticed this for years, but it becomes impossible to ignore once you think about the twin theory. Sometimes Peppa is kind, caring, and helpful. She acts like a normal older sister, looking after George and listening to her parents.
George, I've made you a birthday card. Can you guess what the picture is?
But other times, she's completely different. Bossy, rude, impatient.
What do you mean? You are the bossy one. No, I am not. Yes, you are.
Sometimes even mean for no clear reason.
It's a toy horse. I shall call it Twinkle Toes. Horsey, Twinkle Toes. Horsey, Twinkle Toes.
And it's not just normal mood swings. The change can happen quickly, almost like a switch. Like you're watching two different versions of the same character. At first, it's easy to ignore. Every character has moments like that. But then you start noticing something else. There are times in the show where Peppa seems to forget things she clearly knew before. People she's met, moments she's experienced, suddenly gone. And that's where things start to feel strange, because it doesn't feel like bad writing. It feels like inconsistency, and not the kind that happens by accident. The kind that happens when it's not the same character every time.
It's almost impossible, like wiggling your ears.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
Whistling is harder.
Because if there really are two piglets living in that house, if one of them is hidden, staying out of sight, then there's one possibility that changes everything. They're not just living together, they might be switching. And once you start thinking about that, the rest of the clues start lining up in a way that's honestly hard to ignore. Because if there really are two piglets, then the biggest evidence wouldn't just be hidden in the house. It would show up in the episodes themselves, and that's exactly what fans have been noticing. There are multiple moments where Peppa doesn't just act a little different, she acts like a completely different character. Not just mood swings, but full-on contradictions. In one episode, she clearly recognizes someone, interacts with them normally, and shows no confusion at all. But later in the series, when that same person is mentioned again, she has no idea who they are. Completely blank. Now think about how strange that is. This isn't a side character or a one-time interaction. These are moments the show expects us to remember. And yet, Peppa doesn't. Unless it wasn't the same Peppa. And then there are the personality shifts that happen within the same episode. One moment she's kind, patient, acting like the perfect older sister to George, helping him, caring about him, doing exactly what you'd expect.
Now, can you show me your teeth?
George, open wide like this. Ah!
Then, later, she flips. She becomes annoyed, dismissive, even irritated by the same person she was just helping.
George, please don't sneeze so loudly. This is impossible.
The tone changes, the energy changes, and it doesn't feel like natural development. It feels like a replacement, like someone else stepped in. And when you combine that with the idea of a hidden twin, it starts to make uncomfortable sense. One version of Peppa is the one we're supposed to see, the friendly, happy, well-behaved one. And the other is the one that slips through sometimes, the colder version, the one fans have started calling the evil twin.
We can be friends again, if you say sorry. I'm sorry I said you cheated, even though you did cheat.
And if that sounds far-fetched, the next clue makes it even harder to dismiss. Peppa's bedroom. Because in the new house, everything changed, except one very specific detail, the bunk bed. George now has his own dinosaur-themed room. He doesn't sleep with Peppa anymore. So logically, there's no reason for the bunk bed to still exist. They could have easily replaced it with a bigger bed, something more fitting for her. But they didn't. They kept it. And more importantly, they covered the bottom bunk with a curtain. Now ask yourself why. If Peppa is sleeping alone, what's the point of hiding that space? Why block it off instead of removing it? The show never explains it. It just exists in the background, like it's not important. But it is. Because that space doesn't feel empty. It feels hidden, and if the twin theory is real, then that curtain isn't just decoration, it's concealment. A place where someone could stay out of sight, right inside the same room, without ever being seen. Close enough to observe everything, but never acknowledged. Two spaces, two piglets, one visible, one hidden. And just when that starts to feel like enough evidence, the show introduces something that adds a completely new layer to the theory, baby Evie. Because now, there's another child in the house, a brand new sister who gets everything, a new nursery, full attention, her own space, her own spotlight. Even in the intro, she's now part of the family in a way no one else has ever been before. And listen closely to how Peppa introduces her.
This is my baby sister Evie.
Not my other sister, not one of my sisters. Just Evie, completely ignoring the possibility of anyone else. And if you look at it from the twins' perspective, that changes everything. Because if she's real, then she's not just hidden, she's replaced. Think about it. Before Evie, there was already no sign of her. No mention, no recognition, no place in the family. But now, there's a new baby taking all the attention, all the space, all the love, and the hidden twin, still nothing. No room, no introduction, no acknowledgement. It's like she doesn't exist. And that could explain something else fans have been noticing. Peppa's attitude. Because what if those moments where she seems extra bossy, extra irritated, or unusually mean aren't actually Peppa at all?
George, Chloe's a big girl, like me. So don't be sad if she finds you too little to play with.
What if those are moments where the twin takes over? Moments where she slips out, frustrated, jealous, angry, reacting to being ignored, replaced, pushed aside. Because if you were stuck in the same house, watching your own family live without you, watching another sister take your place, wouldn't you act differently too? And now the new house makes even more sense. More rooms, more space, more places to hide someone who isn't supposed to be seen. A design that looks like an upgrade, but works perfectly if you were trying to keep a secret. And that leads to the biggest theory of all. Maybe the twin isn't missing. Maybe she never was. Maybe she's been there the entire time, just out of sight, watching, waiting, and occasionally stepping in. Because once you start seeing the clues, it all connects. The poster, the hidden account, the personality switches, the curtained bunk, the missing acknowledgement. It all points to the same thing. This isn't just a random theory, it's a pattern. So now the real question isn't whether Peppa has a twin. It's how many times have we already been watching her instead?